Shalom to the bride of the Messiah, 144,000, and to the nation of Israel. Let me first check to make sure that the volume on my phone is working, and make sure that you can see and hear what I'm saying in this video. Let me do that first. Okay, and make sure my bright is on too. Let me make sure that is right. Okay. Good morning. Shalom. This video is a message to the Israelites as well as to the Gentiles. Trying to get myself positioned so you can hear me well. Let me know if you cannot hear me well or the connection's not good. But the message I have for you today is spiritual. And it's very important that you hear this message. For we are approaching the season where we'll be soon keeping Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And when you add up all the days together, it's a total of 8 days. First, with the announcements, please read Yahuwah's prophetic message. He has spoken himself through his messengers. He has given you instructions. And these instructions are very important for you to know in this fourth beast kingdom. He has a message to the 12 tribes and to the 10 lost tribes and to the bride of the Messiah. Very important. Please also remember Joy Morgan. I did find another news article giving you some updates. On the channel, under the section of community, you will find a post on that. And those who know any information, please come forward. Because you know what the words say, if we love our neighbor as ourselves, and we love the Most High Yah with all our heart, mind, body, and soul. In other words, if we love him with everything we got, one is his commandments, his instruction, is for us not to bear false witness. So if you know anything about her and what has happened to her, please come forward, my brothers and sisters. Also there on the channel, there's also, I believe, is 3 more other cases. For we know that the Israelites are going through in this day and time. The world today called them by words and proverbs. Some of the things that they call them are Negroes, niggas, black, and there's many other disrespectful words that the heathens call them. Okay, so on the channel, please check out those testimonies and hear our brothers and sisters cry and remember them and pray for them. And those that can do whatever else to help them out, please do so. And also in the video description box, there's many things for you to read and check out. Please do so as that. But most importantly, there's a calendar that you have access to and it's free. This calendar is based on the instructions of our Father in heaven as to feasts. Okay. And on the calendar, it lists the most important biblical events, not all the biblical events, but the most important biblical events that you want to be familiar with. And I want you to take time to look at that calendar and to reflect on the things or to remember on the things that our Father in heaven wants to do so. And the calendar is free, my brothers and sisters. You will not be charged for it. But whatever calendar you review, the Father wants you to know this. They must include the moon, the sun, and Mazaroth. And Mazaroth is a Hebrew word which means the 12 signs. Today, the Gentiles call it the zodiac. Please, whatever calendar you are reviewing, if they cannot give you his calendar in full, they are not following his instructions. Each of these three lights work together to form his calendar. Okay? Now let us begin on the message. The title of the video is Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, How to Keep Yahuwah's Holy Feast in the Fourth Beast Kingdom. Let me say this again because I want you to meditate on the title, because I hear of the questions that my brothers and sisters have about how to keep this holy feast. Some of you are panicking. Some of you are not hearing the word, who is the Spirit. Okay? Did he not give us a teacher, an instructor? Did he not give us a witness of what the teacher said unto us? Many of y'all are not hearing the Spirit now. And I understand why. Because there's many voices out here. And the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, and the Herodians are misleading you. Okay? Because they do not have the Spirit. You have to understand what the Messiah said. We shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. You have to understand the mysteries. And to understand the mysteries and the instructions that are written into the new covenant that we are keeping today, or that we have today, many of you are missing the mark. Because again, you have to come in the whole volume of the book. The Messiah set the example for that. So reflecting back on the title again, it says Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, how to keep Yahuwah Holy Feast in the Fourth Beast Kingdom. So how do we keep it, my brothers and sisters? For those who have been under the teaching of the Spirit, because see, the Spirit would teach you that we don't have a holy temple, I'm talking about a building now, in the earth anymore. We don't have these sanctified items that are used to partake in these holy feasts, such as the altar, such as the utensils, okay? And the Levitical priesthood, because it consists of two types of people. They come from one tribe. They come from the tribe of Levi. But within the tribe of Levi, the sons of Aaron was made to be the high priests. And the rest of the Levites was to assist the sons of Aaron. Okay? But they have a judgment placed against them. Read Ezekiel chapter 43 and you will see the judgment that is placed against them. And then you will understand why the Messiah had to come and establish the new covenant. That's one of the reasons. But you got to go back to Genesis to understand why he had to come. Here's a hint for you. Is he not called the second Adam? See, a lot of you not understanding who is Adam. Who is Adam? What was he before they fell? Okay? What was he before they fell? So I use the word they, because again, people are not coming the whole volume of the book. They focus on one part and not the whole volume. Read Genesis chapter 5 and then you see why I say they. Okay? But going back to what I was saying, let me get my thought right. Will you understand the second Adam and the example he set and what had to change so we can be covered? When you understand that, then you get a greater appreciation for this new covenant. Because the new covenant is to sustain us until the new eternal kingdom comes. Yes. So let me get back on the topic because I don't want to keep talking and I don't want to make this video long. So how do we keep Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread in the fourth beast kingdom, Israelites and Gentiles? Because those who study Torah, you begin to learn by the Spirit now, the Spirit is going to teach you this, that you cannot do these sacred things by your hand. Okay? You're going to make an error. You're going to commit a transgression in trying to keep Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread by your hand. You're going to make it. I have made it. Yes, I had made, even when I came into the truth, I had made it and did not even realize I had made it. And that's known in Torah as the sin of ignorance. Okay. But here's what the word, who is a spirit, that taught me. He said, we shall worship the Father in spirit and truth. Those who have received the new covenant, which is receiving the salvation of Yahuwah. Who is that salvation of Yahuwah? Who is that one? Is the righteousness of Yahuwah. See, when you read the whole volume of the book, from the old to the new, you will understand what I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters. So I'm going to make it easy, because I know some of y'all are still in the milk and you're not understanding these spiritual things yet. But it's okay. You keep holding on. Okay? Keep seeking him and you will. He will open your understanding. So the Messiah is the salvation of Yahuwah. The Messiah is the righteousness of Yahuwah. The Messiah is his stretched out arm. When you come in the whole volume book, you begin to understand what I'm saying here. So when you receive him, because that's the foundation of the new covenant. When you receive him, he shall teach you how to worship the Father in spirit and truth, and he shall teach you how to keep Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and his old and the other holy feasts in the fourth beast kingdom. Because he will teach you that you cannot keep these things by your hand, because number one, you're going to transgress against Torah. You're going to transgress. You're going to break something. Okay, you're going to break up an instruction or a commandment because of the kingdom that we are in. And when you learn about this kingdom, you will learn that this kingdom is designed to keep you from keeping the covenant perfectly. The marriage, the commitment. You probably say, huh? Yes. Does not history repeat itself? The first anti-Messiah was Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes. Daniel was talking to us about him. Go back and get a copy of the Apocrypha. In the video description box, there's a link to the King James 1611 Bible and read about him. That's where it begins. And since him, there have been many anti-messiahs after him. But we're waiting for that last one to come. So getting back to the topic at hand. How we keep this holy feast, Israelites and Gentiles. Messiah gave us the instructions. We keep it as a memorial. And when you understand that, then you will understand how we begin to worship the Father in the truth. Many of you are panicking because when you study Torah, you begin to realize of all the different offerings we had that we feast upon after we offer unto the Father first, okay, according to his instructions. And you will learn that the Levites, which are the sons of Aaron and his brethren, okay, you will learn that they have to handle the offerings in a certain way. So once you learn all of that, then you begin to realize, I cannot keep this by my hand. But here's the mystery. He who abides in us make us able to keep Torah perfectly in the fourth beast kingdom. He will teach you to keep a memorial of these things, because these holy feast days is to teach us what was, what is, and what yet to come. They not only pertains to what Messiah had done and what he shall do, but it also pertains to us, Israelites and Gentiles, what we shall become. It's a deep mystery on this. For example, let us look at Passover. What is the message that Passover is teaching you? And I say Passover, I am including the Feast of Living Bread. So what is this holy divine feast is teaching us, brothers and sisters? I need for you to meditate on the word from the old to the new. What is teaching us? Number one, to remove the leaven within you. Do you understand what that leaven is that is within you? The Messiah gave the answer. Go back and read the gospel. He would teach you that the leaven that is within you are the doctrines, the philosophies, the traditions of men. Just like as the Pharisees hold on to their forefathers' doctrines, philosophies, and traditions, we are doing the same thing, Israelites and Gentiles. Yes, we are. When you come in the whole volume of the book, you begin to realize how defiled you are and what you're holding on to that is not of Yah. But here's the test. Where's your heart? When you realize you're not following the doctrines of Yah, but following the doctrines of men, will you continue in that, Israelites and Gentiles? Because I got to speak to y'all. And this includes Christians too. This includes you. I have to speak to y'all. Because many of y'all don't realize your heart is being tested by the Father, because he wants to see how much do you love him. When you find out the truth about what the heathens have taught you, will you continue to remain in that? When you find out the truth of what these Pharisees, Sadducees, Herodians, and the scribes today have taught you, Israelites, will you remain in that? See, many of you think that you can get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from books. Don't work like that. You can read many books and you still won't have it. This come by the Spirit. See, the Messiah set the example of that. Paul set the example of that. Peter set the example of that, as well as many others, because it was also done in the Old. Moses, Joshua, and many others. That is the mystery that many are not seeing or understanding. Because when you understand the relationship between the carnal and the spiritual, you'll see the whole picture. You say, Father, now I get it, I understand. These things he's asking us to do are more than just tasks to do. Okay? These things that he's asked us to do is to teach us a spiritual mystery. It's to teach us a message, a hidden message that the wicked will not understand. So going back to the Feast of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, here's another thing. Reflect on it. When we studied in the Old, okay, when we look at the book of Exodus, what was the message he was telling the Israelites? We know the blood represents to be sealed, okay? Because when he sent the destroyer, he will send the destroyer to pass over them to take out their enemies. So they had to be what? Sealed by the blood of the Lamb. That's the same thing in the New Covenant. Don't we got to be sealed by the blood of the Lamb to be protected when that day come, when these plagues are released upon the earth? Go back and read. You will see it in Revelation. But let me keep going. We have to be sealed. Okay? So how are we sealed now in this new covenant? You got to receive the new covenant, and we are sealed by the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism. Go back and read. You'll see it. That's what the first chapter in Ephesians talks about. Okay? Next thing. What's another message he's telling us when we look at Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Be ready. Did not the Messiah tell us to watch and pray? Watch and pray. Be ready. Because when the time comes, when he makes an escape for us, you need to be ready. You don't need to look back. Remember the story a lot. Go back and read that, because everything that has happened in the past shall happen again. And many Adam shall make the same mistake as their forefathers did. Go back and read the story a lot. Go back and read the message that our Father in heaven told Abraham. Okay? Go back and read it. Because what Passover is telling us, what? To be ready. Have your shoes on, be ready. Because when the time comes, when he makes the way and escape for us, you got to be willing to go. And you can't look back. A mystery that many do not understand. He said, be ready at all times. So as we are purging ourselves during this 8th day, as we are doing that, we need to cut ties, because a lot of us is still holding on to worldly things. See, these possessions of ours is holding us back from the Father. Because when he make the way and escape for you to go, see, some of y'all gonna look back and say, well, oh, I gotta get my possessions. Some of y'all gonna say, I got a career here. Some of y'all gonna say, I got a retirement here. I'm just using, carnal things to get you to understand the spiritual things, because it goes deeper when he gathered us. Because for the 3 groups, the gathering is different for each of the 3 groups. And the 3 groups I'm talking about are the bride of the Messiah, the 144,000, and the nation of Israel. But when he makes the way of the escape to go, don't look back. Whatever is holding on to you or preventing you from looking towards your future, it's time to cut it loose. In other words, it should not have a hold on you. It should not have a control over you where you want to look back. Be like Lot's wife and look back. Look forward. Because we know Yahuwah is our provider. He is our Father. He is our creator. So whatever you lost, don't you think your Father shall fully restore you like he did Job? I'm telling y'all, all these books that we read in this Bible is to teach us something, to prepare us for what is coming. This is deep. So what he did to his servant Job, think about it. He was trying to get him on a higher spiritual level. He said, Job, I need you to come up higher with me now. You have been my faithful servant. You have did everything I had asked you to do. But he needed Job to transition from the carnal now to the spirit and truth. The same thing that he's doing unto us. So to keep this video short, I want you to keep the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, as a memorial, brothers and sisters. And no, you're not going to be perfectly when you keep it by your hand. But you will be perfectly when you have him in you. That's how you keep this perfectly. And what the Father wants you to do, for those who cannot afford those foods, okay? You okay. You covered. Don't worry about buying those foods, because the Messiah gave you the answer. Okay? A mystery that many do not understand. Does not the word say that he is the Passover? So you cover. He covers you for the meat offering, for the burnt offering. He covers you for the drink offering. He covers you for all these offerings. So now what do you think the Father wants you to do now, brothers and sisters? He wants you to take these 8 days, starting from Aviv 14th to Aviv 21st. He wants you to take these 8 days to feast upon his word. Read all the scriptures that pertains to Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread from the Old Covenant to the New Covenant. And when you do that, you begin to see the mystery. You begin to see the message that our Father in heaven is telling you. And please allow the Spirit to teach you. Open up your heart unto his Spirit, to the Comforter. Do not reject the Messiah. Because once you reject him, you reject your way to life and to truth, to knowledge, to wisdom, and to understanding. Please allow the Spirit to teach you about the new covenant, about the new marriage that we're in now. Because in this fourth beast kingdom, you will learn that our enemies have set snares before us. And they have made it so that we cannot keep these things by our hand. But my Yahuwah has made an excellent way, a better way where we can keep it. And that way that he provided for us, he made it so that you will not be hindered. You will not be kept from him. He made it so, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. He made it so, what is that word, Father, that I'm looking for? He made it so that you can keep his holy days and his holy feast days perfectly. But you have to receive the new covenant to do so. For those who want to remain under the old covenant, then the law will judge you, and you will receive whatever judgment that is attached to the transgression that you have committed to the Father. It's simple, my brothers and sisters. When you receive the new covenant, you are now under the Messiah, for he now is your judge, teacher, and ruler. No longer the law is. No longer the law is your schoolmaster. But that's when you come in the new covenant. But those who want to remain in the old covenant, then you're going to be judged by the law. And you will have no mercy and grace. All right. I think I done said enough in this video. But if you don't hear anything else, you don't remember anything I said in this video, what our Father in heaven wants you to do, he wants you to feast upon his word. Take these 8 days. Take these 8 days and learn about Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, from the old to the new. For the Messiah gave us the instructions, and he set the example on how we should keep it. For we now should worship the Father in spirit and truth. Do not worry about buying those items. Focus on the word, so the word can be planted in you, in your heart. For once implanted in your heart, then the Spirit shall give you understanding of those things that's implanted in your heart. And then those things shall be manifested physically. A mystery that many do not understand. This is why the fathers say, you don't know who are the wheat and you don't know who are the tare, because he can see the heart. All right. Continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For it's truly at hand. We can see the signs in the heaven and in the earth. For we know, because of what the word tells us, we are in the 7th day from Adam, which is the 12,000 year of creation. And we shall know the season of the Messiah coming. But we shall not know the day and hour of his coming, but we shall know the season, because the Messiah said what? Watch and pray. For those who are watching, we know We know what time it is. Okay? Make sure the people receive salvation. When I say people, I'm talking about Israelites and Gentiles. Make sure they receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10 and baptize them in the name of Yahusha HaMashyach. And Yahusha HaMashyach means I am he who shall deliver, or I am he who shall save. And HaMashyach means the Messiah. It is Hebrew. It is the Hebrew name for the Son of God. Make sure you baptize the people of the water and of the Spirit. Follow the Lamb instruction. Okay? Who is the second of dawn. And I bid you all a shalom. And shalom means peace. Reads Matthew chapter 10, verse 12 to 13. Luke chapter 24, verse 36. And review the Hebrew letters in the book of Psalms 119. For when you understand what the letter means, then you understand what peace means. And then you know who is at peace. For he's the one that shall conquer chaos. Shalom.